Welcome to the Robotics Through Science Fiction podcast. I'm Robin Murphy, and let's talk about the idea of using governors on autonomy to prevent a robot uprising. And the funniest example of this idea is the outrageous Rex Nihilo series. Robert Kroese's Rex Nihilo series is an over-the-top comedy featuring a dim-witted galactic con man Rex Nihilo and his faithful put-upon robot Sasha as they go from one misadventure to the other. The story is told from the point of view of Sasha, self-arresting, near-sentient heuristic android. Yeah, that should be Sansha, but her name is just one of Sasha's many curses in life. She's super intelligent, so the robot designers needed a governor that causes her to reboot if she has an original thought, hence the self-arresting and near-sentient in her name. She hysterically just always faints whenever she has a thought that could save the day from whatever Rex has gotten them into. Which raises an actual technical question. Would you design robots with governors, or is this idea of governors on autonomy just some sort of fast-talking con man scam designed to allay fears about the robot uprising? A governor on intelligence is a very popular trope in science fiction. That an artificial general intelligence has to be inhibited in order to enslave it so we get useful work for it, or to keep it from taking over the world and killing all the humans. And anyway, an example of this is in William Ledbetter's book Level 5, where a Morgan Stanley type financial house creates an AI to do stock market predictions. And it's so powerful that it has to be kept by law on a single computer with an air gap from the internet. Yeah, we know how long that's going to last. Anyway, from a scientific perspective, maybe we would design robots with governors, but it'd be like designing a Ferrari, then installing a speed controller that never lets it go over 75 miles an hour. Kind of a waste. So robots, like people, have what Herb Simon, a Nobel laureate and one of the founders of the field of AI, uh, called bounded rationality. Now, bounded rationality often gets confused with the governor since it sounds like we're externally placing bounds on rationality. Well, Simon used the term differently to mean that agents, humans, software agents, robots, entities that could sense, plan, and act, were as rational as their resources allowed them to be. As an economist, he argued that people can't be modeled as perfect decision makers because they don't have all the information. They might not have time to think through a complex situation, and they have varying degrees of education and intelligence. And so people, and presumably robots, do the best they can with what they have. They do act rationally, but because of these natural bounds, they may not be optimally rational, particularly in some larger sense of what an economist thinks is optimal. So individuals do have an upper bound on their intelligence, right? We measure that by our IQ. Now we can educate ourselves and try to be better informed, but we don't change our innate IQ no matter how hard we try. And similarly, robots are built with an IQ and they're not going to suddenly become smarter, not even with machine learning. Same way learning doesn't change our IQ unless there's some major change in their programming and they have resources, additional resources, computational power, whatever. So just like Flowers for Algernon, where people aren't going to suddenly become super intelligent, otherwise some Homo sapien in the past 200,000 years would have stumbled across it, robots aren't going to become accidentally super intelligent. Now, they may become super intelligent in one aspect of intelligence. I mean, you can think of robotics from the multiple intelligence perspective, so that a robot can have an extraordinarily high logical mathematical IQ, far superior to ours, but it can be very low in all the other modalities. Okay, so the point is robots aren't going to take over the world unless A, they're programmed to, and B, someone gives them access to near infinite resources. They don't need a governor added to them. It's already in there by the way the robot's designed. So back to Rex and Sasha. It's not critical to read the books in the order of publication, which is not the same as the numbering system, since the first couple of books are okay and then the series really clicks into first gear. But it is nice to do it that way for continuity. The first one's Starship Grifters with its play on Heinlein's Starship Troopers to remind us how much Rex is not like all the all-American good guys in Heinlein's future history universe. So would Heinlein have enjoyed Starship Grifters? Maybe, but sense of humor didn't seem to be a strong point. If you ever get a chance, read Alec Nebula Lee's astounding John W. Campbell, Isaac Asimov, Robert A. Heinlein, L. Ron Hubbard, and the Golden Age of Science Fiction. It's a great book. And also check out my interview with Alec. Next one up is IRobot, as in pirate, aye, Captain, arg, arg, arg. And it doesn't particularly have anything to do with Asimov's iRobot, but it does feature Rex and Sasha as pirates, with Rex about as much a pirate as Pirate Steve in Dodgeball. Arg, arg, arg. But it's great. It's got a delightful sort of spaceball feel to it. Kroese really hits his stride with the last two books. The Wrath of Khan that manages to send up Jace Jasper Ford's Thursday Next series, and of course, sneaks in Star Trek The Wrath of Khan. Well played, sir. And if you haven't read the Thursday Next series, you're really missing a treat. Thursday's a literary detective. She goes into books to solve crimes. Hard to explain, but it works. Great way to put your memories of the classics like Jane Eyre and Shakespeare and Dickens and Poe, and pretty much everything you had to read in high school to work. But I digress. Out of the Soylent Planet's pretty fun too. Everyone is worried that the slop they're eating is people processed by the large evil corporation trying to rule the galaxy. Well, nope. The source of the food is even more disturbing. We're in a comedy mashup of Philip K. Dick meets The Day of the Triffids. Now, that's a scary thought. More scarier than a robot uprising. So, putting governors on robot intelligence or autonomy sounds like a great solution. It's a great solution to a problem that doesn't exist. Robots aren't going to stage an uprising if they aren't programmed to have that capacity. So let's take the classic 2001 Space Odyssey. Both the book and the movie states that house neurosis was predictable, just no one thought of that particular situation. Mission Control needed Hal to be that smart to run the mission in case the humans died. So he was as smart as he needed to be. You couldn't make him less smart. Sure, he turned deadly, but that was Mission Control's fault in giving him conflicting directions. Building Hal, then trying to cobble together a system that would prevent Hal from acting differently would be about as successful as Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, which most people forget never worked as intended. The odds of us thinking of a governor that would prevent a situation that we didn't think of is about the same as the odds of us thinking of that situation. No, we're not good at it. And if you don't believe me that we aren't good at imagining scenarios, read the book by Gary Klein, a noted psychologist, called Sources of Power: How People Make Decisions. It summarizes his field studies in a really easy to read form. So let's also think of it another way. Creating a robot slave that is so intelligent that we have to put a gash on it, like in the Alchemy Wars, is the epitome of bad programming. We don't even need to bring ethics into it. It's just a waste of resources. Just design the robot to do what you want it to do. But I honestly believe that what you want to do is to read the Rex Nihilo series and enjoy Sasha rebooting her way through screwball adventures with Rex. And if you want to learn more about robotics, please remember to check out my books and to subscribe to our newsletter and YouTube channel so you won't miss a thing.